You don't have to take my word for it. Just look around on the subway and see how many people out of 100 have all those things. And guess what? If they're on the subway, they don't have financial freedom. And how many guys out there that you look at would you trade places with, or that you see as in shape, or have the kind of status that you want, or the financial freedom that you want? And the reason is simple. This is game-changing stuff, but it's really simple. I've got to thank Dr. John DeMartini. I've been pouring through his stuff over the last couple of days, and it's just been revelation after revelation. It's because they don't value it. People do not value fitness, fame, or financial freedom. They think they do, but they don't actually value it. Because when you actually value something, you don't need motivation. You already have inspiration. I'll give you an example. I was watching a podcast with this guy, Manny Koshbin, who came over to the US in 1984 from Iran, after Iran was going through some major political drama, living 6 to a station wagon with his brothers and sisters for the first 3 months. He's 14. That was his entry to the country. No English, getting bullied in school because he's a foreigner. So you get the picture about how brutal his introduction to North America was. And, he went and got a job at Kmart and became, employee of the month 12 months in a row. And after that, by the time he was 17, he was doing direct selling. I think he's worth 100 million now. I haven't checked to see if there's exposés on the guy. I don't really care. It's just there's a million of these stories. The guy was in tremendous financial pain. So he didn't need motivation to go get his finances solved. You couldn't pull the guy away from getting his finances solved. Same thing with Grant Cardone. If you watch his story, 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. he's selling cars, or he's selling sales training, just non-stop. And it's inspiration, not motivation. So when you're struggling to find the motivation, a lot of the time it's just because you don't actually value that activity. It's someone else's values, including mine. If you're watching my stuff, but you're still struggling to get motivated on getting to the gym or getting your finances in order, it might be that you just don't have the same values as me, man. Just like I don't have the same values as a lot of those guys who are worth 100 million. It's not that I wouldn't want 100 million. I just know what it takes to get there. And, I'm not willing to go through the pain to go get it. Or the pain to at least go for it. I'm not saying that I could just go get 100 million if I tried. I could very well fail. But I value other things in my life. So, same thing with fitness, right? I like being in shape, but I'm not trying to be a competitive bodybuilder. I'm not willing to put another 100 pounds on my frame, take the insulin, the IGF-1, spend $1,000 a month on drugs, risk liver failure, heart failure, all that stuff. Not willing to do whatever it takes. Rich Piana was. He died at 45, but that's what he wanted to do. That was his, it was part of his value system to be 280 pounds lean, to be a monster. So he got exactly what he wanted. And that's the reality of the situation. You just don't value it. Like, if you value financial freedom, you don't need motivation to save money. Most people want financial freedom, but they have a delusional expectation of what it takes. And they want it, but they don't actually value it. And they don't actually have a realistic expectation of what it takes. And what they really value is being a consumer. What they really value is buying things, the car, the house, and so they're willing to go into debt to get it, instead of getting high on the amount that's in their savings account. They get high on the kind of car that they drive and the house that they own that they can't afford. And a lot of times they're willing to work a job that they hate to be able to do that. Same thing with fitness. You know, everybody wants to be fit, but they don't actually really value it, and they don't have necessary idea of what it takes to become fit. And what they actually value is junk food and relaxation and pornography, or whatever it is that they do. When you look around at most people, they don't want to be fit, okay? Because it's not very hard, when you really think about it, to go to the gym 3 times a week for an hour each time. It's not that hard. And even with a half decent diet, that's going to put muscle on your frame. So the same thing with fame, okay? And a lot of people, you know, would want to be a celebrity, but they're not willing to go on social media and blast at their brand and get recognition and get validation. Or some people don't want that at all. They want to be totally anonymous. You know, there's a lot of businessmen that don't want people to know about them. You know, even though those guys are worth $50, $100, $500 million, no one knows about them, and that's how they want to keep things.